to be continuing our work with fractions. Nope, we're not going to table it. Go just leave it there and I'll get it. Because I'm going to do it in a moment. So I just need you to leave it there and move on to math, please. Thanks.
How I can show a fraction.
So we are going to continue our work with fractions. No. Underneath this word show, go ahead and circle it. When I'm talking about the word show, a synonym for that is we're going to be talking about a model. Different ways to model a fraction. Now, we've been talking about how fractions are pieces of a whole. Fractions are going to live in between our whole numbers. So the numbers that you're used to counting with, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are fraction amounts in between each of those. Because they're pieces. Right? You know that. I can have half of a cookie. That's not a whole cookie. That's half of a cookie. I can have a whole cookie plus another half. That's still in between one whole and two wholes. There's one whole plus a little extra. So today we're going to talk about 3 different ways to model a fraction, which is probably going to be important because I know on your choice board you need to model some fractions with familiar ways. The first way, go ahead and write this as a subtitle, is a circle model. And then you can draw a circle. So one of the first ways that you can model a fraction is with a circle. Circle models are great if we're thinking of things like, maybe we're thinking of pizza slices, maybe we're thinking of things like cookies, maybe we're thinking of things like pie. If I'm writing, you're writing. All of those things might make sense. Please stop talking while I'm talking. Might make sense, and might make sense to represent as a circle. Now, you guys already told me way back on the first day that we did fractions, when Ava and I were splitting that cookie and we had a circle model, you told me that I could not split it in half like this. Raise your hand to tell me why again. I know we talked about this already, but just remind me, why can I not split it in half like that? Marley?
Because it's not.
Keep going. Each piece doesn't have the same worth. You're right, they're not equally sized, right? It's not fair. Yes, if Ava and I split this, I would have one piece, and there are 2 pieces there, but is that really 1/2? No. So when I am drawing a circle model, I have to make sure that my pieces are fair. Let's draw 1/2.
1/2.
I'm going to shade in one side to represent the side that I have. Can someone help me make the number fraction that matches that picture? Go for it, Jordan.
1/2.
So what do I need to write?
1.
In the,
At the top.
what is that space called? Yep, the numerator, good.
And then a line.
And then my fraction bar.
2 as the denominator.
Beautiful. Jordan, why did you put a 2 in the denominator?
Because there is 2 pieces of
There is 2 pieces of my whole. Can someone tell me, why did Jordan put 1 in the numerator? He's right. 1 is the numerator, but why did he know that? How did he know that? Archer?
The 1 is for like you, the other side that's not shaded in is for the person you're sharing with.
Sure. I have one piece. That means I have one of the two options. Now, where circle models, Brogan, are a bummer is sometimes it's hard to draw the sizes equally. Halves are pretty easy. Fourths are pretty easy. But anything beyond that, it's really weird to draw.
No, eights are easy.
Eights could be easy, but I'm not a big fan of circle models because a lot of you don't draw them well. Don't draw this. This is what I see a lot. I might see this. Cool. You're not drawing this. I might see this, and then I'll see this. Are those pieces fair?
No.
No. But I see a lot of students do this to represent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6, but these are not fair. Now, is there a way to draw 6 correctly? Yes. But this is why I'm not a big fan of circle models, is because it takes a little bit more thought. So circle models are not my favorite. Next to circle model, I want you to put a medium face. So you can do circle models for halves, that's fine. You can do them for fourths. You could even probably get away for eighths. But I'm not a big fan of circle models. They're kind of just like me. I want you to draw another circle. And I want you to make the fraction on your circle 3/4. So draw a circle. And then I want you to show the fraction 3/4 in that circle. 3/4 as a number looks like this. I know that I need 4 pieces because I'm counting fourths. If I'm counting fourths, I need 4 pieces. So a lot of you break it up like this. Are those pieces fair?
Yes.
Yep. I saw a lot of you break it up like this. Are those pieces fair?
Yes.
I did not see anyone break it up like this. Would that be fair?
Yes.
No, that would not be fair. That would not be a correct way because this piece is not going to be worth the same as this piece.
But it would be the same if it was a square.
I'm going to leave mine like this. If you did yours slightly different, that's fine. How many fourths do I need? How many fourths do I need? Ava?
3.
I need 3/4. Here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. I need 3/4 because I'm counting fourths. So far, so good. What if you colored in different fourths? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Or is that okay? Yeah. As long as you've got 3 of them. What's this one? Alright, so circle model. It's okay. It's not my favorite.
Fractions are
This next one is my favorite.
this bar.
A bar model. A bar could be a square or a rectangle. Go ahead and draw a line in your notebook, and we're going to make a new subtitle bar model. If you need to turn the page, that's fine too. A bar or a rectangle is more my speed because it's a lot easier to represent equal size pieces. So you should have another section in your notebook, and we've got a bar model. We're going to model 8s. And we're going to look at a couple of different ways to show 8s. I know 8s. 8s. I'll be echo. One of the easiest ways to show 8 is just like how we normally bar model, which is why it's my favorite, because you could do it for forever. I would take a rectangle. If you haven't drawn a rectangle, draw one. I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to put 4 on this side. And then 4 on this side.
Squares.
I'm going to double check. I have 8 pieces. If I've got 8 pieces, then I've split it into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 pieces. I'm a big fan of that because I could do that for as many size pieces as I needed to. I could do 12s, just like that. I could do 10s, just like that. I could even do thirds, just like that. So I'm a big fan of a bar model because I could just keep adding on the end, just like how we practice. Another way to model, and I don't really have a good size bar here, but is to do the exact same partitioning sideways. I can split it in half this way. And then make my 8s going across this way. So just like I did the first one, but instead of vertical sections, I now have them going across. As long as they're worth the same amount, we're good to go. So far, so good with that. I know you guys are still drawing, but we understand what it looks like. Perfect.
Yeah.
Because our 8s are double the amount of pieces of our 4s, we can start to get a little fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a square, and I'm going to split that square into 4ths first, kind of like a window. So there's my 4ths, because I know that 4ths and 8s are closely related. I know that because that denominator is very closely related. Right, Bowen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just.
From here, I'm going to make another set of 4ths. And I'm going to lay it right on top of those 4ths.
That's how I do it.
But instead of making it like a window, because I would just be drawing over it, I'm going to do it like this.
That's what I do. Exactly what I do.
I can count my pieces and double check that I've got 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 equal sized pieces.
8 pieces.
All I did was take 2 versions of a 4th and lay them on top of each other.
That's cool.
Fascinating. Bar models. Next to bar model, I want you to draw a happy face. And the reason why we're going to draw a happy face is because bar models not only are easier to draw with equal sized pieces, which is good, they're easier to compare with. We've been comparing using bar models since the beginning of school, right? We stack them, we can compare. We can do that with fractions. They're just easier to compare with. So I'm a big fan of a bar model because it might help us. Bar models we can use with everything. Even if something is typically round, for drawing purposes, if you want to make it square, that's fine. Pizza, when it comes from Domino's, is typically round. However, if I need to draw it square, can I do that?
Yeah.
Cookies are typically circles. However, if I need to draw it as a square so I can help make those pieces the same size, can I do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Alright, so far so good with this.
Yeah.
We've got one last way to model fractions, and it's where numbers live. Where do numbers live? We've talked a lot about where numbers live. Where do they live? Remember?
The number bed.
They live, well, that's how they're made, is with a number bet. but where do they live?
Oh,
Bowen?
on a number line.
On a number line. So our last strategy is going to be showing those fractions where they live, which is on a number line.
Which is in between, like
These fractions on the line. Yeah. Well, I gotta go on another page.
If you need to go to a new page, that's fine. Whoops. Fractions are numbers. They're just smaller numbers.
they're just in
But they
between.
also live on our number line.
They're smaller.
Hang on, Bowen. I know you're there, but hang on. So just like in that game Zoom on iReady Learning Games, if I zoom in to a number line, go ahead and draw a number line, pink line to pink line, trace the very straight line that's already printed in your notebook. I'm going to zoom in so close that my number line starts at 0 and ends at 1. So I zoomed in so close that I'm only looking at a distance of one number. 1. Can you imagine that?
That is crazy. That's
So think about a regular number line. Think about a regular number line.
Okay.
And you're zooming in to the numbers so that you're only looking at one distance. Nope, that's not what I said. Okay. If I have something that is smaller than 1, but is still there, it's a piece. I have not a whole cookie, but a piece of a cookie. Right? So to represent a fraction like 1/2, I put it halfway in between 0 and 1. The distance from 0 to 1/2, that is worth 1/2. And the distance from 1/2 to 1 is 1/2. 2/2 is worth 1 whole. If you have 2 halves of a sandwich,
Mind blowing.
do you have the whole thing?
Yeah. Mind
So
blowing.
Marley is noticing, oh thank you Maverick, Marley is noticing, hey, if I went both sections, I would have something that looks like this. That is pronounced 2/2. 2/2 is worth the same as 1 whole. It just looks a little different. We're not used to saying 1 whole is 2/2. But if you have 2 halves of a sandwich, do you have the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
3 halves.
It's just cut in half.
There could be 3 halves.
All right. Fractions live between every number, not just 0 to 1. So now let's zoom in. We're going to scooch over just a little bit between 1 and 2. Fractions live there too. Fractions live between every number. In between every single number, there are fractions. So those are pieces of numbers. Now, just like what we just did, I can split it in half. But that number is not 1/2. It's going to be 1 whole plus a half. I've got 1 whole and a piece of a half. Oh, you're facing the wrong direction, Pam. So Marley, this is where you come in. Just a second ago you said we could have 3 halves. Sure, if I kept going and I've got 1/2 and then another half and that 1 and another half, I do have 3 halves. What if I had another half?
You had 4 halves.
Actually, I'm going to make that 1/2 because that space is 1/2, but down here is worth 4/2. It's a lot easier to think of it like a sandwich or like a thing. 1/2 of a sandwich plus another half of a sandwich
It's a whole
is worth 2 halves, aka 1 whole. If I have another half, now I have 3 halves of sandwich. Plus another half, now I've got 4 halves of sandwich, which is 2 sandwiches. Fabric?
Talking about food makes me hungry.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on math or questions? So far, so good. So in your math choice board, one of your activities says to model these fractions with 3 different ways. I just gave you 3 different ways. A bar model, a circle model, and a number line. If you've already done it, I want you to challenge yourself. Go back and see if you can do one of the ones that you didn't do. So I know a lot of you did a bunch of bar models, which is fine. But go back, see if you can do it as a circle model now. See if you can do it out of a number
I
line.
already did it as a server.
I'm ready.